Creativity and accountant are not two words that you normally hear in the one sentence, I admit. What is creativity for me? So, creativity, whenever I think of that word, makes me think of someone who thinks outside the box, thinks in a new or different way, thinks innovatively, is a problem solver in ways maybe that other people wouldn't problem solve. So oftentimes you come across people who think there's no way we can solve this issue. A creative person will find a way around that. So yeah, it's a new way of thinking, especially for accountants. If you're an accountant listening to this, you will know what I mean whenever I say that we are perfectionists by nature. Now, that's oftentimes a good thing whenever it comes to a set of accounts, because you need them to be accurate and you need the accounts to be detailed and you need them to reflect reality 100%. But it's not so good whenever you're a perfectionist, because nothing gets done. So if you're like me, you will have been in the situation, for me a number of years ago, where I wanted to write an article and I couldn't because it wasn't perfect, and I thought, oh, I'll have to revisit that and rewrite it. Or I didn't do the post for social media because I thought, well, I'll have to read up on that subject a little bit more, or I'll have to wait until my hair looks right or my makeup looks right. So it's a difficult thing to be a perfectionist sometimes, because you never make any progress. And the key that I have recently learned over the last number of years is it's all about progress. It's all about being better than you were yesterday. You're in competition only with yourself. So what I want to speak to you about is how I have used creativity to grow our accountancy firm, Cartmel Stewart & Co. Sorry about the glare on the sign, but it's my lighting. But how can you use creativity as an accountant to your advantage? Well, this was something that I thought about a number of years ago whenever I started out my business, and I thought, okay, how do I do things differently? How do I create a business which is new and fresh, outside of the box, outside of the norm? Not a traditional accountant in that sense of the word, but still provide an amazing customer experience, which is something that is rare whenever you think of an accountant. So I started to think of ways that we could do things differently. So that was through my approach to social media first and foremost. So I had a conversation a while back with someone who said to me, you really do social media differently. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, you use Instagram and it's a very graphical interface. It's a very graphically driven social media platform. Yes, it is. And I did always think in the past that Instagram would never work for us. So after all, what am I going to take a picture of? Like a calculator, a computer mouse, myself sitting at my desk? No, I needed to start to think creatively about that. I started to post about everyday life. I started to talk about inspirational tips. Yes, there was tax advice and accounts advice, but it was much more rounded in the business sense of the word. And whenever I started to do that and lay off the accountancy and the tax speak, the more engagement grew, the more relationships started to build in the background, and the more I was able to use my creative flair. I am actually naturally quite a creative thinker. So for me, it was a little bit easier than it may be for some of you. But what I want you to do is click on the link that I'm going to share somewhere around here. Come along to our Creativity for Accountants event, which is being held in Belfast on, I think it's the 11th of March. I'll get the date correct. It's an evening event. It's going to be free, and you're going to have the best people in the industry to speak to you about creativity. First and foremost, you're going to have Karen Rayburn from The Profitable Firm, who is amazing. She is an accountant, so she understands what we go through, and she's also a marketeer. She's fantastic. Then we're going to have Go Proposal. So I am a big, massive fan of Go Proposal to create our proposals, which look slick, beautiful, which we can do very, very quickly. So those guys are going to be there too. So I'm going to be on a panel speaking about my do's and don'ts of what I've learned over the years. So please do book, come along. I would love to meet you and have a chat.